Welcome everyone to Week 8 of Prospect Basketball Weekly, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Prospect. I'm your host, Jack Ankeny, and Coach Camardella is back to review last Friday's game against Rolling Meadows. So, Coach, what was the biggest factor in holding Rolling Meadows guard Max Christie to only 3 points?
That should tell you a lot about how much we respect his talent and pretty much how we had to gear the defense. He absolutely lit us up the first time we played, and he's been doing it to a lot of opponents this year. And so we really had to be mindful of containing him and just trying to force him into tough shots.
Yep.
And I was proud of our defense for how they executed.
Okay. So focusing on Christie kind of freed up their other guard, Gio Carrillo, hit 30 points for the Mustangs. What made it difficult to balance kind of those two guys?
Well, that's going to happen, and what I mean, Gio's a talent. It's obviously displayed that both games we played him. I thought he hit some tough shots, but we also, with running two guys early at Christie, it did free up guys on the back end. And we knew that was going to happen. We decided to roll the dice, and the calculation worked.
Yeah. All right, so Jalen McLaughlin in that game had a career high 17 points and then also 10 rebounds. What kind of production did he give you in that game?
Huge fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I realized a little bit, I think there were almost 50 fouls called in that game, right? And so it's at no point did either team really get into a real flow, even though we were in the 70s, they were in the 60s. But Jalen came on hard in the fourth, and I didn't realize it until I went back and watched the film. Everybody remembers the back-to-back dunks, but they might forget the offensive rebound. They might forget, him deflecting passes in the defense there at the end. So it really was a level of production, especially at the end when they cut it to 8, that we really needed, and he gave us that boost.
Okay. So this was another game when you guys had 5 guys scoring double digits. What did you do offensively to successfully attack their zone?
The ball just moves. The ball absolutely moves. And we were in some foul trouble late. And I remember one play in particular where we ended up putting Sam Murray at the high post, which he'll play it occasionally, but it's not really his position. And if you go back and watch some of the highlights, it's towards the end of the game where it was getting close. The ball went from the wing to Sam, and it wasn't in his hands more than a tenth of a second or so. And he immediately threw a bounce pass right to Kreidler, and John finished it underneath. And that to me sort of exemplifies everything this team is about, is the ball never sticks. The guys are aware of angles, they're aware of rotation, and we're getting 4 or 5 guys in double digits pretty consistently now, and I think that's what's given us the advantage in a lot of these games.
Yeah, for sure. So this win clinched the MSL East for you guys. How did it feel to get a win at Rolling Meadows to win the division?
It's a hard place to play. Meadows is really good this year, and I know our guys set out to win an East Division title, and to be able to clinch it on the road with 2 to play, I think is really special. I'm going to remember it for a long time. But it's quite obvious that that's one box that's checked, but the bigger ones are still ahead and are trying to keep our guys focused, which I know they are.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Coach Camardella. And next up will be an interview with senior Johnny Cislowski.
Welcome back to Prospect Basketball Weekly, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Prospect. I'm here with senior guard Johnny Cislowski. Johnny, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me back.
Against Rolling Meadows, what was the key to holding Max Christie to 3 points?
Well, we tried to limit him in the full court. We brought a double team every time he dropped the ball. So we basically wanted the ball in his hands, and we did a good job of that most of the game.
What does the team have to do to stay balanced on offense with another game where 5 players scored in double digits?
Well, we pass the ball around a lot. We don't really care who scores. I think that's the beauty of this team, the unselfishness and the teamwork that we put in, and at practice is that's where it comes from, and it translates to the game pretty well.
Definitely. How do you use your height and versatility to be an advantage out on offense?
On offense, I use my height and versatility. I go for offensive rebounds, and I'm usually longer than the kids that are going up, and I'm a little more physical than some of the kids that are guarding me, so I go up and get them.
Exactly.
And that works out pretty well.
When the team shifts to a 1-3-1 zone, it's often that you, Jalen, and Tim who get a lot of steals. What's your mindset when running the zone?
The mindset is just nothing easy. Nothing can get over your head. If you see a ball, try and deflect it. Have your arms out at all times, and just be active. That's the key. I think being active is the key, and I think we do a good job of that.
Definitely. What will the team need to do to get a repeat win and another big win against Hershey on Friday?
We need to communicate, and we need to have everything flowing on all cylinders. Hershey's pretty good. But we've been playing rock solid recently, so I think we'll be fine.
Absolutely. What do you expect it to be like playing at Old Arlington High School?
Oh, I haven't played there since like 6th or 7th grade, so it's gonna be pretty cool. I don't know what to expect, but should be kind of fun.
Absolutely. That's all we have for Johnny Soslowski. Stay tuned with an interview with boys manager Jack Heiss.
Welcome back, everyone, to Prospect Basketball Weekly, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Prospect. I'm here with team manager, senior Jack Heiss. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Wyatt. The pleasure is mine.
What made you want to become a manager for the team the last 2 seasons?
Well, it really started after my freshman year. So freshman year, I played basketball with Coach Henning, and after the season, I kind of evaluated my role, and I started on the B team for most of the season, and then I really realized that I didn't think I was going to get much time on the sophomore team. So really, I approached Coach Heilman, and he really got me interested in managing. And after the season, he recommended that I continue on and go to Coach Camaradella. And after my experience junior year with him and Coach Rathy, I just loved it. They're extremely nice, and they really feel what I'm coming from, and they're really helpful in everything I do.
What is your responsibility during practices and games to help the team out?
In practices, it's really whatever they need me to do. I can either run the scoreboard, film, or even help in a couple drills with being a rebounder or just kind of a body. And then in games, my role is just to film.
How do you and other managers like Peter Velick and Sean Olson work together?
Really, other than we all have our own respective roles, how I do film, Sean does stats, and then Peter films on the sideline. Other than just really communicating, making sure everyone gets their job done, we really don't have to interact too much with each other just because of we each have our own individual roles.
What has stood out to you most about this year's team in recent weeks?
I just think their camaraderie has really been a key to their success, about how really with me being around them as much as they are, they're a really tight-knit group. There's really not too much they really fit well together. They mold well each of their respective games, and I just think our overall passing and ball movement really reflects that.
What do you think allows this year's team to work so well together offensively?
Well, as I just said, I think their passing and their unselfishness is the key. How they don't really care who scores. As you heard earlier in the telecast, Prospects had 5 guys score in double figures against Meadows, and I just think their ability to pass the ball and share it is really the biggest key.
Describe the potential you think this team has to be successful the rest of the year.
Well, I think the goal of this team is obviously first, just finish the season off right, win these last 2 East games tonight against Lions, and then just go on to the MSL Championship, be able to compete in that game. And then I think the ultimate goal for this team is win a regional. They got all the way last year and had a tough loss to Lake Park, and I think I can just feel the passion in this locker room and how they want to win that regional title.
Jack, thank you so much, and stay tuned for a preview of this week's game against Hersey at Arlington at the old Arlington High School with head coach John Camaradella.
Welcome back, everyone, to Week 8 of Prospect Basketball Weekly. Coach Camaradella is back to preview this Friday's game against Hersey. So, Coach, in this game you guys are playing at the old Arlington High School, now Christian Liberty. What kind of atmosphere do you expect from a place that you guys have never played before?
For me, I'm really excited. That's my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I only live a couple blocks away. I didn't move to the area until after Arlington had closed. So it is a really special gym for our entire community. You know, there's a lot of people that Arlington was the high school, and there's obviously a lot of sadness, but a lot of really good memories when people think about when it closed. But having a chance to go back there and have the whole MSL East, all of District 214 together for a day to sort of honor and remember Arlington High School. The gym is so historic. I'm really excited to be coaching a game there. It'll be the first time in my career, too.
So you guys blew out Hersey last time. I think it was by 28 at Prospect. What will you need to do to offensively to repeat and get a similar result?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to limit their guards and how deep they can get initially on their penetration. They got a couple of big guys inside that work really hard, and they play a real different lineup at times. Is that you have to constantly be aware of who's on the floor. You got to know the personnel that's on the floor, and it's really training our guys to be aware where the shooters are, where the slashers are, and like we did and sort of have done this entire year is to try and, to the best of our ability, to keep the other team out of rhythm.
Okay, so holding Hersey to 32 points in the last meeting, what will be the focus defensively in this game?
I think very much the same. They're talented guys. They got a couple of really good shooters. They got a kid, Ronzio, who really lights it up, and I've seen him go, and he'll string together 8-10 points at a time. So it is. It's about being mindful of where guys are at And I think really limiting second chance opportunities. You know, Hersey will shoot it from deep, and a lot of times we always teach our guys long shots equal long rebounds. So we need all 5 guys aware when shots go up and go and secure the rebound.
Okay. So what are you telling your team to keep them focused in these last 2 East games, though you've already won the division?
Yeah, well, I think it's something special. You know, a lot of coaches will be like, well, we don't talk about it. Yeah, the chance to go 10-0 in the East is really special.
Yeah.
And I will talk about it because I think it's, you know, you don't always get a chance at perfection. And it's not the end-all, be-all. You know, the goal is to win the East. But I think we're looking to play championship basketball.
Yeah.
And these guys understand that it's not time to rest. It's not time to take it easy. And I think both games still have a lot on the line. You got a really special game here at the old Arlington High School, and then you got our senior night at home against Wheeling. So it's 2 really important, memorable games that I know our guys are going to want to put their mark on.
Yeah. So how will you use these last stretch of games? You got the 2 East games and then also Lions and Niles North to kind of prepare yourself for the playoffs.
That's why we play the schedule we do.
Yeah.
You know, the conference aside, you know, if you look at that, you know, we got Lions still coming up. We have Glenbrook with North. We got to go on the road to GBN. And then, we've got the Camp Horseshoe shootout this Saturday against state-ranked Niles North. So at no point do we want our guys relaxing or thinking that everything's good and they can just keep, you know, playing the way they are. We want them consistently trying to take the next step to see if we can make a run here, try and finish the East 10-0, try and compete and win a conference final, and then go as deep in the state playoffs as we can.
All right, for sure. Thank you so much, Coach Camardella. That should do it for Week 8 of Prospect Basketball Weekly, brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings and Mount Prospect, and we'll see you next week.